Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Alright, so I've been getting the request for Talonflame. So Talonflame analysis, I'm going to do the Ultra League first because that's where it's the most relevant league, and I think that's the one where everyone's most interested in. As you see here, Talonflame is incredibly powerful for several reasons. Now, there is one problem with it. So for the Talonflame, for your Talonflame to be really good for Ultra League, it needs to be an XL. With the... what's it? You know what? Not Fletchinder. What is it? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm gonna go. Yeah. Don't. I forgot. Anyways, the base form of this thing's with that community going on. Yes, you can roast me later on the comments. With the community going on, we have that. I know it's on top of my tongue. I'll probably figure out later and find and be really dumb. But we have the community coming up for this thing, and you need an XL. So that's what makes it really interesting. Is that Talonflame maxes out at 2,500. So because of that, you need... we're gonna compare 50 and 51, but as you see here, Talonflame's really good because that level 50 does go to the 2,500 threshold. As you see here, it's basically a better Charizard with Incinerate, but that's because it's level 50. Charizard in Ultra League can't go to level 50. It can only go... I believe it's like 20 something just because its attack is so high. But Talonflame can get with max. Because of that, it's maxed out, and it's, as you see here, it has a pretty balanced stat pool. High stamina, high attack, low defense. However, its typing actually works incredibly well for Ultra League because fire types are really strong, and with fire types, you can actually give a lot of things a problem, like Obama Snow XL. You can also give surprisingly enough, you'll see in the rankings just how powerful this thing is. Now, since it's a Charizard, it's essentially like a more powerful version of Charizard. It carries Charizard's weaknesses as well. So, as you see here, you're weak to Electric, Rock, and Water. Especially Rock. So, with Rock, there's a lot of things in Ultra League with Rocks. Like, Melmetal, Machamp with Rock Slide. Yeah, so you're probably going to get prone to be thrown by Rocks. Anyways, it does care, but you should be used to them because you've been, like, Ultra League's been out forever. And, you're probably pretty used to seeing these typings around. As far as water goes, you're probably, like, your biggest threats are probably going to be Swampers, Empoleons, Rockos, Melmetals, and for electric types, I don't see many electric types in Open Ultra League, but you can see them, like, if someone's running an Ampharos, or I would say, like, an Electivire, you definitely can see those as well. However, you do resist Bug, you also resist Grass, Fairy, Fighting, Fire, Ground, and Steel. That's what makes Talonflame really good. You resist the Fighters, you also resist the Charmers. You also resist things like Grass. You also resist Bug types. So Mega Horn, Frenzy Plants, etc. And also fellow Fire types. So its typing makes it really good. That's why Charizard is so strong in this meta. Now, what makes it really good is that it's going to get Incinerate. Incinerate is a tricky move to use. However, if you use it well, you can get Incinerate to do charge moves and couple Incinerate along with Brave Bird and Flame Charge. You can use that Flame Charge to ramp up your Talonflame and essentially run over whatever's in front of you. You're just going to see how crazy it is in the Matrix. Alright, so here's the Ultra League rankings. This is Open Ultra, by the way, and you'd probably be surprised at how powerful Talonflame is. As you see here, Talonflame is so strong, it is actually one of the top 3 Pokemon. It beats out Swampert, and it beats out G-Fisk, which is just nuts. So all of you that have been trying to power up your luscious Galarian XL Pancake, you're gonna... Well, actually, G-Fisk still beats Talonflame, so your Pancake's still pretty dang powerful. Anyways, the reason why Talonflame is so strong overall is it is actually the #1 lead. So with an XL Talonflame, you have the #1 lead in Open Ultra League. As you see here, and I looked at this beforehand, it can beat Swampert in the 2-shield. It beats Cresselia in the 2-shield, as well as Giratina Altered, which is absolutely nuts. The fact that this thing can beat, for those of you that don't know, Gear A, Cresselia, and Swampert is Ultra League BBML, or the big meta team. So because it's the big meta team, guess what? Talonflame beats all 3 of those, so it's incredibly powerful in the lead. And because of all the resistances that I mentioned before, this thing can this Talonflame might shift the meta into a fire. It might. Well, the keyword is might into a fire heavy meta, because if you look at its key losses, Melmetal and Polian are pretty popular. So is Gyarados, Mewtwo, and Dragonite. And guess what? Talonflame loses against all of those. So it enters. Fire has slowly been making its way because of Incinerate. Well, you might see Talonflame enter the fray, especially as an XL, but you need an XL. As the lead, as I mentioned before, Talonflame is the most powerful lead, beating the big meta core, so it's really freaking strong. If you want to use it and you're planning on using for Open Ultra League, definitely recommend it. On the closers, Talonflame does rank at number 9, so it's top 10, but that's still incredibly good. Ho does a little better, as you see above there, just because of its KO potential. As you see with Ho, you have a lot more, like, Earthquake and Burb, like, it's just a big, like, nuke move, so it does better. However, both of them cover their specific, it's barely better. Point 2 isn't going to do that bad, they just have wins, just have pros and cons. But Talonflame generally does better just because you can level 50 it. So, super powerful in the closer. As you see, beats as what I mentioned before. Loses against the water as well as the same problem that Ho has, basically waters and rocks. Anything that can drop rocks on you is going to do heavy damage. Don't use Talonflame as a switch. As a switch, Talonflame ranks at number 66. Sadly, it's not number 69, which is the greatest number of all time, other than 420. However, it is still very, very strong. Don't switch Talonflame. Don't use, like, there's better safe switches in Ultra League, so it's not likely you're going to use Talonflame as a safe switch anyways. Alright, as I always say, please consider joining at pvpoke.com. Here's Open Ultra League rankings. I have level 50, and there's also level 51. So level 51 Talonflame is 13 attack, 15 defense, and 15 HP. So there's not much of a difference, to be honest with you. So I think level 50 is okay, but you'll see in the Matrix. Got Ultra League meta to the right. We have the 2 shield, hit battle. As you see here, it's an insanely powerful lead. You beat most of everything in the lead. Obama Snow, Articuno, Clefable, Cresselia. Those are very popular leads. So the ice lead is you do very well against. You also do well against Drifblim. You beat out Excavalier and other fire types, of course, especially Ferrothorn, basically things that are double weak to fire. You can also beat Giratina Origins in the 2 shield, as well as Granbull. Well, that's the Charm Granbull. Snarl might still, well, you resist close combat, so it's still not that great again. You still have a really good advantage against it. You do well against Mewtwo. Alolan Muck, basically the rest. Yes, you can be. So this is the craziest thing in the 2 shield. So Talonflame can actually beat Swampert in the 2 shield. And it's not that hard. As you see here, you can, as you see here, you can straight flame charge. You can even, yeah. You can survive a Hydro Cannon. It's kind of bait dependent, because you need to 2 shield. So they kind of need to. So the keywords can here. If you are able to double bait with Flame Charge, you can Brave Bird your opponent down. As you see here. But you can only eat 1 Hydro Cannon, because it does 112 damage. But the fact that you can eat a Hydro Cannon is nuts. Because if you have a Shadow, it's crazy just how powerful it is. If it's a Shadow Swampert, I'm not too sure though. So Shadow Swampert, yeah, okay, so not Shadow Swampert. So you could beat a regular Swampert, not a Shadow Swampert, just keep that in mind. The reason being is because Shadow Swampert's extra damage that it gets from the Shadow bonus allows it to KO you. But the fact that it can even beat regular Swampert in 2 shield is pretty insane. Because Charizard can't do that, so yeah. But you beat out the Charmers, you beat a whole variety of things. It really makes its name as the strongest lead in Open Ultra League. As you see here, the only things you basically lose against are things that outdamage you like Gengar, Giratina Alter, just because it does resist it does resist your Incinerates and your Flame Charges, and it's just really bulky. So basically, things that have a lot of bulk outdamage you or have water or I would say, yeah, water or rock type moves. The reason why you lose against Machamp, this is actually a bait dependent matchup. So against Machamp, here's what happens. If you get Earth, you can take a cross drop. If they drop a bunch of rocks on you, you die. Oh, there's actually a what? Really? That's a simultaneous knockout? Dang, dude. Okay, never mind. The keyword is you can beat it, but apparently, This is actually, wow, that's actually really interesting. So you'll actually simultaneously KO each other. If you double up, if you what if you go flame charge? Okay, so if you double flame charge, actually you could just win just going straight flame charge, yeah. So you literally win just going straight flame. As long as you don't get rock slided, you could just go straight flame charge against Machamp. So this is a great thing against Machamp. As long as you don't get hit by rock slide, you're fine. Melmetal, the rock slide is the reason why it beats you. That's pretty much it. The fact that it has Thunder Shock and Rock Slide is the reason it beats you. So extremely powerful lead. In the 1 shield, here's what happens. So in the 2 shield, as you see, very strong. But once you get to the 1 shield, it's actually still not, it's still really great. As you see here, you beat a lot of things in the 1 shield. It's nuts. In the 1 shield, you can actually beat Giratina Altered. So in the 1 shield is where you have a chance against Gira A. Because what you do is, you bait, well, actually, you can just, like, you have to hit, the problem is you have to hit a Brave Bird. If you can't hit a Burb, you die. It's that simple. So you can do that, double up however you want to do it, but you have to Burb Giratina Altered to win. But the fact that you can beat it is absolutely amazing. I don't know why you lent Giratina Altered, but let's see. Giratina Altered, Giratina Origins wins. So if you have a level 51, it looks like you can flip with Giratina Origins, but why? Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Because if you do the same thing, I think you could beat Gear. I believe you can beat Gear A or Gear O. Like, I'm pretty sure 50 and 51. Let's see, Flame Charge. Okay, so you don't burb. Why aren't you gonna burb? Yeah, why don't you burb? Oh, it's because so that 1 point of HP actually matters. So with a level 51, you can beat Gear O in the 1 shield, but this has to play out exactly how it goes right here. If it doesn't, like, this sim is, like, that's so specific, I wouldn't count on beating Gyro anyways. Just because, yeah, I wouldn't count on beating Gyro. You can beat Gyro, but I wouldn't count on it, because you have to burb it down. And that one little extra HP basically you survive Shadow Claw, but is there a bulk point? Okay, so there is a bulk point, so that's why you can beat Gyro. So there is merit to having a level 51 for that specific matchup. Other than that, it looks like none other things are affected. You basically win against the same things, and you lose against the same things. Looks like you lose against Armored Mewtwo just because of Psy Strike. Let's see what happens here. Yep, Psy Strike, Psy Strike. Okay, so it double Psy Strikes you. So in the 1 shield, Armored Mewtwo does take you down, but you can beat it in the 2s. So it looks like the only matchup you really lose is Mewtwo. Armored Mewtwo, and you still lose against what you lose against. So that's pretty dang good. Alright, so we did the 1 shield, now we got the no shield. Really strong. The 2s and the 1s are very similar. As long as you can stay away from Melmetal and I would say water types, you're good. So, dang, this thing is freaking amazing. So in the 0s, wow, it's still really good. Holy mother of mercy. Okay, give me one. Okay, so in the 0s, you'll lose against Swampert. That looks like, so you lose the Swampert matchup, but you lose the Swampert matchup, and you also lose against Drifblim. But, oh, you can also lose against Cresselia. So it looks like, but you can win this matchup as long as you have Chip. So as long as you have Chip damage and Cresselia, you can kill on the closer. It looks like it probably is just because Psycho Cuts get through, or no, it Future Sights you to death. What if you have Moonblast? Yeah, what if it's the Grass Knot one? If it's the Grass Knot one, I believe you win. Because you wall it. Yeah. So if they're not rocking Future Sight, you beat Cresselia. So just keep that in mind. You you don't essentially wall Cresselia because Psycho Cut still hits you, but it's not that bad. Anyways, if you go down, you lose against what you lose against. You could still be, like I said, you could still beat Cresselia. You just basically dropped Swampert in the closer, as well as the ability to beat Giratina Altered. Other than that, you pretty much lose against, you beat what you beat, and you lose against what you lose against. Machamp, you lose against just because it's going to drop a bunch of rocks on you. And of course, Lapras surfs you down. So, the 2-to-1 is 0s are very the same. In the 0s, the only difference is, like I said, you just drop Swampert, and you basically drop the ability to beat Gira O or Gira A. So, still very powerful in all positions. I'm really surprised at how well Talonflame does across the board. So because of that, I actually give this thing, I give it a 10 out of 10 actually. Talonflame is really, really strong. If I, like, ahead of time, just look at it. If you have shield advantage, you're in one of the 0s, the only thing you drop is Swampert. And you only drop Swampert in the 1 to 0s. That's the only thing you drop. Yeah. And in the 2-0s, you probably beat the entire meta. Yeah, so in 2-0s, you beat the entire meta. Which is nuts. With shield advantage, I can just imagine it's just as powerful. So you, in the 2-1s, you only drop Empoleon. This thing is ridiculously powerful. So if you have shield advantage, you beat everything in the meta with the exception of Empoleon. Just because Empoleon, your Incinerate do neutral damage, and yeah, that's basically why. And Waterfall chunks you. That's pretty much it. But other than that, you beat everything else. It's so strong that I have to give it a 10. There's not many things that will basically shift the entire... Well, if you've seen it, you probably have seen Fire has definitely made its way into the Open Ultra League meta. Now, if you have an XL Talonflame, it's pretty dang good. Actually, it's really freaking good. Definitely. Fletchinder! There you go! Fletchinder Community Day! It takes to the end of the video for me to remember the exact community day you're supposed to go after. It's Fletchinder. Fletching Community Day. Yeah, Fletching. Yeah. Fletch. I'm a cheat. Yeah. Anyways, as you see, there's no real breaker bulk points that really are super relevant. The only one that's relevant, I would say, is this one, the Giratina O, Giratina A matchup. Which, it's such a specific scenario that it's not really worth, like, best buddy. If you can find a 13, 15, 15 and you really love Talonflame, go for it. Other than that, a perfect at level 50 will suit you better. I think there are better things you can give your level 50. I think you can best buddy, like, another thing. It's way better to best buddy something else than it is for Talonflame. Because as you see here, there's only one matchup that level 51 really gives you. So because of that, it's okay. But anyways, yeah, 10 out of 10. Talonflame XL is ridiculously strong for Ultra League, and based off of all this data, or this matrix, like, this thing's ridiculously strong. So definitely recommend, if you have the opportunity to grind harder, go hard and get your XL Talonflame for Open Ultra as well as Ultra Premier. This thing's really good. It's really worth XLing. So if you're going to XL something and you are having a hard time with Ultra League, this thing might give you the edge you need to absolutely do some good in Ultra. Good luck in your Go Battle League sets. I hope you're all doing well. Have a wonderful Fletchinder Community Day. I think I'm saying it wrong. Please don't. You can roast me again. Yeah, you can roast me. Have a wonderful Community Day, and good luck on Go Battle League sets. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I do analysis like this all the time before things come out, and as you see here, Talonflame is really freaking good. Good luck on Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.